Hello everyone, I am Bhuvan Verma here again and ecstatic to meet with you all in another episode of STEM Talk with Leaders. Students, as you are aware, STEM-based education helps an organization run its day-to-day activities smoothly and efficiently. Mathematical calculations, scientific applications help and make the workflow of various activities at an organization better. We at India STEM Foundation provide the best of practical learning and conceptual knowledge by teaching STEM-based skills to our students across India. I want to give a big shout out to all the schools, STEM labs, Atal Tinkering Labs being supported by Rockwell Automation, because we have a very special guest for you today, Mr. Naved Iqbal, CSR Head, Rockwell Automation India. He is an industry specialist who is fulfilling the social mandate of several employees at Rockwell. Hello, Naved, how are you?
I'm doing good, Bhuvan. Thank you very much for the nice introduction. And it's a pleasure to be here, to be with you, with the kids. It's been amazing to be a part of this initiative. And, I'm so excited that, we, Rockwell as an organization, have been able to contribute to the growth of the kids, where they are able to apply the knowledge in reality, right? Rather than just reading the theory and giving the exams, they are actually use this knowledge as an application, right? So great to be a part of this initiative and to be a part of this discussion, Bhuvan. Thank you very much.
Yahoo. Okay, so diving straight into our questions, our students ask from you. Naved, can you tell us why are industry leaders so interested in STEM and STEAM education?
Yeah, so it's a pretty straightforward answer, Bhuvan, right? And we all have experienced it. When we were in colleges, right, we studied all engineering, mathematics, physics, chemistry, right? But when we get into the industry, right, we were completely blank, right? We were like, it was a blank paper put in front of us, and we were just figuring out, how do we apply our theoretical knowledge into a practical knowledge, right? And that's where we struggled, all of us, I'm sure, right? And that's where we thought, it would be good to, why don't you bring in application to a theory, right? And give the exposure to our kids to the real practical world, wherein you apply the application to the theoretical knowledge, and the kids gets benefited out of it. So that's the aim that we came out with.
Wow, excellent. So definitely, leaders are looking at application and existing technology and how education can make use of all of that. Okay, so my next question, Naved, our students want to learn from you, how is company CSR, corporate social responsibility, helping accelerate access to STEM and STEAM education and in system strengthening?
Yeah, so very good question, Bhuvan, right? Two aspects to this. One is, we as companies have directives, right, to contribute to the social causes, right? And then we have people, right, who would really want to be a part of the community work. That's two. The third thing is we really want to, groom our talent, the talent that we have in our people, right, in the people of our country, so that they can come up, they can enhance their knowledge skills to come up with and we come up with a talent, a pool of talent, right, which in the future, right, we can absorb in our kind of organization and grow them, right, as future leaders and future engineers, right, and future technocrats. So that's the intent, right, and I'm sure that we are able to contribute to this.
Wow, such a comprehensive answer. And also, your contributions towards the nation building are significant because you are providing a lot of tools and technologies to the students through tinkering labs. Can you shed some light for our students on how important is hands-on training for students in schools?
Yeah, so I said it before, Bhuvan, right? It's extremely important, right? As I said, without the practical knowledge, without the theoretical knowledge, when you come out of the school or colleges, right, you're like a blank paper, right? You would have the theoretical knowledge, but unless you try your hands on the real equipment, right, you know, you would really struggle. So it is extremely critical that you get the exposure, the kids get the exposure, the practical exposure, the real application exposure on the equipments that they already know before they actually come out of the school and come out of the colleges, right? So they are, semi-prepared, right, to come cater to the industries, right, when they come out and start doing their jobs.
Absolutely. And jobs is something that my next question also moves towards. Can you tell our students how STEM education helps students learn entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So when they work in the labs like Atal tinkering lab, right? They would come up with different thoughts and different ideas, right? And they convert those thoughts and ideas into real products, right? These can be like soft products. This can be like product like robots, etc. Right? So this will instigate their capabilities or the thought processes that they can when they can actually convert their dreams, their thoughts into the reality, into a real product, right? That really motivates them, right? That really brings out their their entrepreneurial talent, right? And the self-belief that they can convert their dreams and thoughts into reality, right? That's how it is extremely critical.
Amazing. Converting your thoughts into reality. Students, it is the most important thing that Naved has mentioned. I hope you are taking notes while watching this show. And to my next question, which stems from converting thoughts into knowledge, there must be some learning, self-learning involved. Can you tell our students one subject, topic, or activity that you have done by self-learning?
Yeah, quite a bit. Actually, when I got into the field, as I said, I was a blank person, right? When I came from the college, I was sent to a site, right? And I was sent to a boiler, right, which creates a steam for the steam turbines, right? And I was asked to do a drum level control, right? And I have no clue, absolutely, right? So what I had to do, I had to, and that point of time, we never used to have internet when Google was not there, right? We were on our own. So I really had to take all the manuals out, right? Understand the entire process, right? Understood the way the instrumentation work, right? And I learned how to calibrate the instrumentation, how to fit them into the drum level, right? And learned probably the most difficult control loop in the power plant myself and commissioned it, right? So that was a big achievement, right? And I really felt happy after that, right? That I on my own without anybody around learned it through my hard work and commissioned that system on a steam boiler. So that was one of the thoughts that immediately came to my mind.
Wow, wow. Exciting, very exciting from learning, from knowing little to learning large is something that you have accomplished, so many facets related to the boiler you've shared with us. I'm sure our curious students will go and Google these processes and try and understand what Naved is talking about his journey. Thank you so much, Naved. This is so inspiring for us. Okay, to my next question. can you tell our students and our viewers that how does STEM education at schools help in social integration?
Yeah. And that's one of the very critical aspects of the life, the environment that we're living in right now. It is extremely important to bring the people together, right? And eliminate all negative thoughts from the mind of the people, right? And it really helps, bringing different um, students from various religions, various castes, various creeds, right? Coming together, working on a common cause, right? That eliminates all the boundaries, that removes all the boundaries, that remove all the barriers, and these kids, forgetting about everything else, working on a common objective and common cause. That really helps bringing the people closer, which is what we call social engineering, right? Absolutely great, right? This, I mean, I'm really touched, what all this initiative could do, apart from, inculcating the knowledge in the students. Yeah.
Now, with the impact you are making, bringing about an all of society effort together through your interventions at various labs across India, we are very thankful, grateful to your contributions in this way. The ripples are being created. Okay, to the next question that our students want to learn from you, can you guide our students? What are some of the STEM career choices school students can aspire for?
I think many, right? I think the students would have the opportunity, as I said, I want to repeat it, to try hands on practical things, right? The other thing is, we have our own people. I mean, people from Rockwell, and similarly, I'm sure other companies also do. They come and talk to the students, right? um, that gives an opportunity for the students, right, to not only learn about the technology that they're learning in the lab, so they're trying hands in the lab, but they can also interact with us, and we can, communicate the things that we are doing. For example, the automation piece that we do, the artificial intelligence that we keep working in our company, machine learning, for example, right? And our experiences, right? So the students, in addition to what they're doing in the lab, can take that knowledge, and we can share the knowledge that we have with us, right, with the students, so that they can take that knowledge, right, and learn much more from our experiences, in addition to what they're learning in the labs. That would give them a much wider exposure, much wider industry exposure, and keep them updated about the development which is happening in the technology nowadays.
Absolutely, such a comprehensive answer. Students, jobs and careers keep changing with time. So to keep yourself updated by listening to talks like these, exploring different areas is most important. Okay, to my next question, Naved, can you tell our students how did competitions like WRO, FLL change your worldview?
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, so the competition is, I'm an athlete, Bhuvan, right? And I run marathons, right? And when I run, it's not about winning a marathon, right? The journey is extremely equally important, or I think the journey is more important than the end results, right? I think what we learn on the way, when we do all these, when we take part in the competition like WRO, for example, right? We get to know a lot of people, right? That exposure is extremely critical. When we prepare for these competition, we do a lot of study, right? We prepare ourselves, right? We study, we try different technical material, right? Different um, proof, earlier projects that the kids would have done, right? So it adds a lot to our learning, our internal learning, right? And that journey that we have, right, that through which we prepare for these competition, adds tremendously to our knowledge base, right? As I said, the result doesn't matter, right? If you win, absolutely marvelous. If you don't, you got a lot, you have learned a lot, right, on the way. Yeah. So that's for me, that the entire learning journey is the most crucial and the most important part when we, decide to take part in these competitions. So that's a great exposure that we get, right? Again, winning is not important, kids, right? It's, what we do, when you're trying to win those competitions, right? That's more critical.
Absolutely. Naved, competition not only teaches techniques, hacks, but also empathy and behavior, how to conduct and compete, in a competition. Thank you so much for inspiring our students who are preparing for the World Robot Olympiad, which is being conducted by India's STEM Foundation. Okay. So to competition takes me to my next question. Since most of our competitions are team competitions, teams compete amongst each other, can you guide our students from your experience, which is that one must attribute of a team player?
Yeah, so I think passion and collaboration, I would say two things, right? Passion to win, right? And if I have to take a step back, go on, right? Belief, right? You must believe in yourself, right? You must believe that you can win, right? So you have passion to win, right? That's extremely critical. And when we are participating here as a team, collaboration is extremely critical, and that has to be coupled with trust, right? So you should have belief, you should have passion, you should collaborate with an highest level of trust, right? If you have all these four things, I can tell you with confidence that nobody can stop you winning, right? Just remember these four elements, extremely critical, even whether irrespective of whether you're, taking part as an individual contributor, but in a team environment, these four elements are extremely critical. So just remember these four elements.
Absolutely. The students, I hope you are taking notes. Belief, passion, collaboration, and trust. These are four critical ingredients of a team player. Oh, we got a bonus. We just, all right. So to my next question now, tell our students, Naved, what is your favorite equation, formula, code, and why?
What's my favorite equation?
Formula, code, and why?
I didn't get the question, Can you just repeat?
Your favorite equation, formula, code, and why?
My favorite equation, formula, code, why? Okay, so I'll tell you a few quotes, couple of them, right? Um, um, you know, so I'm a good reader, right? And I read with a number of writers, right? And one of my favorite leaders is Jack Welch. He was the chairman of GE, and he has given, during an interaction, he has given me a formula personally, and he says there are 3 S of winning in any stream, right? Speed, simplicity, and self-confidence, right? If you have these three with you as an individual, right, you're bound to win, right? I'll again read the 3 S's of winning in any race, in any business, in any competition. And these 3 S's are speed, simplicity, and self-confidence. That's one. The second thing is, when we do the work, when we participate, when we do exams, right, when we do anything, right, we always have a probability of making mistakes, and making mistakes is not a bad thing. It's a good thing because that's how we learn. But one thing you should always remember, never repeat a mistake, because when you repeat a mistake, it is not a mistake anymore. It's a decision, right? And this is a quote by Paulo Coelho, right? So just make sure that, Making mistakes is always okay, but when you are repeating the mistake, it is no more a mistake. It's a decision, right? And if you repeat a mistake, that's a bad decision you're making. Right? So these are the two quotes that
Wow.
that's on top of my mind.
Wow. And a reading list for our students, another bonus students, Jack Welch and Paulo Coelho. Paulo Coelho has written several titles. Please visit your school libraries and read these books. Naved has recommended these books to you. Okay, to my next question. Okay, since you are such an avid reader, Naved, our students want to know which book are you reading these days?
So don't ask me the writer, but I'm reading a book called The Atomic Habits, right? I'm carrying it with me right now in Singapore, right? And it tells you about how do you change your habits, right? How do you make incremental changes, right, in your habits? And I could not see I can't show you the page, but it says if you make improvement by 1% every day, by the end of 1 year, you will be 37 times better than what you are right now. And if you deteriorate your habits, right, a good habit by 1%, you will be at zero, right, if you are at wherever you are right now. So it's extremely important to identify the habits that we want to forego and the habits that we want to adopt, right, and make incremental increases in those habits that we want to improve, and incremental decreases in the habits that we want to decrease, right? We all have habits, we all have good habits, we all have not so good habits. We would try to improve our good habits. So we have to make incremental steps, and the habits that we want to forego, we have to make incremental descents to make sure that we go away with those habits and we get to a better position to adopt the good habits. That's the book I'm reading right now.
Wow, so beautifully put. Yes, so beautifully put in such a simple manner that you keep on incrementally increasing your powers and decreasing anything that is stopping you. So beautifully put. Thank you, Naved. Wow, I had a wonderful time hosting this session. I would like to thank you, Naved, for sharing such powerful insights and experiences to help our students appreciate the emerging ascendancy of STEM way of thinking. And today we learned from you that STEM-based skills are helpful to conduct even the simplest of activities. We are thankful to Rockwell Automation for supporting STEM way of learning and giving us an opportunity to deploy their unique CSR program. Our students are lucky to learn from the experience of you. Till the time we open a Robo Siksha Kendra near you, keep tinkering. And I thank you for sharing this video with your parents and peers. Namaskar.